An electric atmosphere inside Covelli Center. They've got the glow sticks in full effect as the red-hot Nittany Lions take the stage against Ohio State. And Jess Merzick is the name to know for Penn State. She is the key leader, leads the team in points, kills, and receptions. And on the other side of the matchup, she has her hands full with Emily Londa. Audrey, we had a great conversation with Jess this morning. She says, this isn't a player that you can shut down. It's about managing Emily Londa, but boy, is she hard to manage too.
Yeah, the hometown hero. She is the backbone of this Ohio State team. Three-time All-American, leads the Big Ten in points per set, and will definitely give Penn State a run for their money. You know, head coach for Penn State, Katie Schumacher-Cawley, also understands that this is a talented opponent, and she is going to challenge her backcourt defense to make some big-time plays against Londot tonight.
Well, Emily Londot on Sunday became just the second player in program history to reach 2,000 kills, 2,000 points, and 1,000 digs in her career, joining the legendary Stacey Gordon. And it is just continuing to rise for the career of Emily Londot. But you are very impressed by the freshman setter, Izzy Stark. She was the top-ranked recruit in her class, and she has fit the billing so far this season, Audrey.
Yeah, four-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week, one-time Big Ten Setter of the Week. I saw her early this season make a side set from left front to right front, and I texted Coach Cawley and said, I like your setter. Not only does she have the skill to do that set, but also the courage, and so that is the makeup of a great setter. She's got a wonderful mindset, a true competitor for this Penn State team.
Well, Penn State is riding quite the high right now. They come into this match riding a 12-match Big Ten regular season winning streak into the weekend. They've got a stacked lineup. They've got a really scrappy libero in Grimes, and also look to get their middle blockers going early, according to Izzy Stark, who told us that this morning. That's going to be the goal for them as we take a look now at the Ohio State starting roster. This is a group that's looking to make a run for it, the clear underdogs in this matchup, but they're stacked with talent too and a whole lot of fight.
Yeah, and a new player in the lineup in Reese Webker. She's getting the start tonight, and we saw a little bit of action from her against Oregon. It'll be interesting to see what she can do to contribute to this Buckeye team.
Starting lineups is powered by Unleaded 88 Engine Smart Earth Guides. We are moments away from first serve, which will be Angelina Stark, the older sister of Izzy Stark. And Izzy talked about that this morning too, just how fun it is to play with big sis. It's a rarity, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. These two have great chemistry on the court. They help each other out in key moments.
Emmy Selman goes up big early, and that's what you can do against a big physical block in Penn State.
Yeah, Emmy Selman is going to really have to come alive on that left pin for Ohio State. You know, she's one of the top recruits in the country, so the Buckeyes really are looking to her to really carry some offensive load tonight.
Yeah, Emmy Selman, we saw her blossom just 2 weeks ago, and she was finding her footing in the Big Ten. Big swing out of the middle for Penn State. Great defense, though, for Ohio State. And another ball gets through. It's Emily Londot adding to her kill total.
Yeah, I love the dig there by Hasbrook, the libero for the Buckeyes. And then it's that strong arm of Emily Londot. Doesn't always get a full approach. You're going to see here a little hop step and then just hammers it through. Really exploits that block for Penn State that wasn't hip-to-hip and well-formed.
What a dig by Reese Webker, by the way. Right back to Londot it goes, and the tip effective, though it is not called to hit down on the floor. Great step by Izzy Stark, and so it's Juravicius who finds the back corner. Let's take another look at the pancake when we have a moment. This is the scrappy defense we warned you about with Grimes. I don't know, Audrey, that looked like it might have been down.
Yeah, that one is pretty close, and I'm not sure if head coach for the Buckeyes, Jen Flynn Oldenburg, is going to be challenging this one or not, because from when I saw it play out live, I did think part of the ball hit the ground.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you on that. There's a look at
call's reversed here.
Jen Flynn Oldenburg in her 5th season for Ohio State. Here's another look at it. Yeah, that's down for sure. Bounced up, and Mia Tumen back to serve for the Buckeyes. This was the setter that Ohio State opted to go with, and a big serve outside the platform of Jess Merzick.
Yeah, that is the game plan for Ohio State. They are going to force Merzick to play a lot of balls. They're going to keep her busy both in serve receive and on defense, try and wear her out.
Nice record for Jen Flynn Oldenburg, former 4-year standout for the Buckeyes herself. 2-player coaches going at it for their respective programs. Big swing from Londot, denied by Penn State, out to the wing. Emmy Selman rips it down the line. Grimes with a gutsy back set to Merzick, and it is well long. Grimes a little ambitious with that set, but I love that she went for it.
Yeah, and you got to go for it in this league, right? You got to rip the ball, and that's what Merzick was trying to do, trying to go high off the blocker's hands, but here we are, Ohio State up 5.
Tumen again with a deep float serve. Merzick handles it that time. Back to the pin. Juraviscius looking to find the middle of the court. Selman again winds up big against the block. Oh, what a dig. Denied. Izzy Stark, though, with an all-star dig. Ohio State hanging right in this set number 1. A 6-0 lead for the Buckeyes. Don't look now. We could have an upset brewing here in Columbus. It's all about the serve and pass in college volleyball so far. Ohio State with the edge there. What are you seeing right now for the Buckeyes, Audrey Flaw?
Yeah, the serving right now, the plan is to just pick on Jess Merzick, and they're doing that beautifully. Ohio State really competing hard in transition and taking big swings. There you see another serve going to Jess Merzick.
And a great attack from Penn State to get their first point of the set. Have another look, a great serve by Tumen. I don't know how Penn State found their way out of that. How about that set from Izzy Stark? That's the fearlessness you saw out of the young freshman early in the season. In the middle goes Ohio State, dug up by Merzick. Back out to Merzick, big swing and a touch. Merzick bouncing back after feeling the heat on serve receive.
You know, and that's just the mental fortitude that Jess Merzick has. You know, she's getting caught a little bit on serve receive, but then she comes front row and she is able to take big swings. I like that flat swing right between zone 5-6 for the Buckeyes.
Wow, an absolute roof from Jess Merzick in response to a slow start for Penn State. Here's a look at head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley in her 3rd season at Penn State, 2-time All-American member of Penn State's 1999 National Championship team. Played under the legendary Russ Rose, and a bit of a rally here for Penn State. Now what's starting to brew on their side, Audrey?
Yeah, you know, well, one thing, just change of momentum with that big block. I love the battle that I'm seeing between Jess Merzick and Emily Londot. But, you know, you just have to settle in. You know, oftentimes the first set, you're just kind of feeling things out. So I think we're going to see Penn State's true competitive spirit here in the rest of the first set.
Merzick winds up on the outside. Out to the pin for Selman, denied, but almost dug up. Just gets called for a net violation there. Penn State takes it back.
A great lateral move there by Maggie Mendelson, the middle blocker for Penn State. Great instincts, and when you're out of system, you can kind of guess that that ball is going to be going to the left side, and she reads that play perfectly.
Aggressive serve from Grimes, right back out to Emmy Selman. That is a beautiful swing. Had a career-high 14 kills and 9 digs against Michigan this past weekend.
Yeah, she's got a live arm. Take a look at the tempo of this, and then she just rips that ball right down the line, and that's a tough shot to dig.
Selman back to serve now. And Merzick struggling in serve receive. They're swinging her way out of it. Tumen to Londot on the opposite. Grimes, another back set to Merzick, a little bit inside. Merzick finds the roll shot. Tumen back to Londot, denied by Merzick, who says there was no other touch. And we talked to Merzick about the blocking scheme against Londot. She said you just have to play her straight up.
Yeah, she's just going nose to nose with Londot right now and doing a great job of slowing her down.
There's a look at Emmy Selman, the freshman, and her numbers. 13 kills and just 1 error against Northwestern. And then mentioned the numbers against Michigan. 2 weeks ago, she was just starting her way into the lineup, and now it feels like She has found her footing, of course, working with one of the assistant coach, Nicole Fawcett, former Penn State Nittany Lion. Great story there, we'll get to in a bit. Merzick sends it over aggressively. Holbrook out to the pin, it's Londot who attacks. Tuman back up to set, back to Londot. Down it goes, as it usually does, at the fingertips of Londot.
Well, that was a great first dig by Stark in that right back area of the court, and then Londot goes right back to her. Take a look at that wonderful dig to keep the rally going, and then Londot finishing it off here. Wow.
Riley Rader back to serve now for Ohio State. Stark goes on the pin to Mendelson. Rader throws the ball up into any situation she can find, and Penn State takes back another.
Yeah, if you're a non-setter touching the second ball, you've got to put something up that your hitters can take a swing at. That is the nature of the game in this Big Ten Conference. Non-setters are going to have to be really clean tonight in order to put good balls up for their pin hitters to get real big points on.
That's wide, an aggressive serve from Jess Merzick. Ohio State will take the ball back and continue their 2-point cushion here in set number 1. Emily Londot, good in the front and back row. Has a heavy serve too, look out for the float. There it is, just a bit long that time, but you can see the wicked float she possesses at her serve. Penn State with a few substitutions. Quinn Menger comes into the lineup. And the team captains for this Penn State team. Looking to tie it up at 9. Nice pass by Selman out to the pin. It's good. Eloise Brandewie making her entrance into the match.
Yeah, such an improved player from last year. She's just a sophomore, and take a look at how this ball is so nicely handled. First contact outside of the passer's body, handled beautifully, and then there you see Brandewie really committing to that slide attack and hitting the deep corner.
It's great platform work by Emmy Selman, the young freshman, putting in the time on serve receive, and Penn State in a bit of some trouble in serve receive. What's their issue other than the aggressive serving of Ohio State?
Yeah, they're just targeting Jess Merzick, and you can see how that ball floats and drops right in front of her platform. So we'll see if Penn State adjusts the serve receive pattern at all.
Reese Webker in for the injured Grace Egan, and talk about an undersized player at 5'9", still shining. She has a lot of spark to her game.
Oh, she absolutely does, and just a great player from Centerville, Ohio. So lots of fans here from Centerville cheering her on.
Izzy Stark back to serve. 4-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week honoree. To the back row to Londot now, well covered on the pin from Penn State. Big swing from Juravicius. That's one thing, she will always try to swing her way out of trouble.
Yeah, I love that set there by Stark. She was facing the net, nice side set, but Juravicius just a little bit long on that one.
Back to serve now, the libero for Ohio State. Freshman Olivia Hasbrook. I love the way she plays defense and attacks as a freshman. Big set from Izzy Stark to the middle. That's Trammell who puts it away.
Yeah, Trammell, that is her favorite shot there. You're going to see her run that 31 and B all night long. A great pass there by Jess Merzick to keep her team in system, and then Trammell with that heavy arm, a nicely executed route.
Cameron Hanna with the serve for Penn State. Tuman goes out to the pin. It's Selman who swings big, doesn't get any hands off the block. Penn State back again. Cameron Hanna looking to tie it. State looking to go above 500 on the season so far, looking for their second Big Ten win here tonight in Columbus. Selman again on the pin, and there's a fearless swing again for the youngster.
And a great pass to start off the rally there. So Selman, they're really trying to pick on her in serve receive. Take a look at this. She executes a perfect pass. Nice push there by Tuman, and then uses the edge of the block to get a point.
Emmy Selman captained the USA Volleyball U19 national team to golds. The World Championships. Good dig from Hasbrook. And down it goes for Ohio State. Wasn't as clean on contact, doesn't matter.
Yeah, Rader does something that really helped get that point, and that was the touch off the attack from Penn State. A solid touch transition with a big swing for a point. So Rader showing her experience as a middle blocker. She's a 6'2" graduate student for the Bucks.
3-point cushion now for Ohio State. Out to the pin. Merzick looking for the kill. She gets it. Add another for Jess Merzick. She had a team high 21 kills, 3 blocks in their win over Indiana on Sunday. Have another look at the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody else has received the serve. I think every serve so far has gone to Merzick.
How's that feeling if you're Jess Merzick right now, fending off
Austin,
Phoebes?
yeah.
Great swing down the line for Emmy Selman. Wow, she has taken a lot of strides since we saw her 2 weeks ago, Audrey, in this gym.
Oh my goodness, yes, and she's got a super high ceiling. Jen Flynn Oldenburg, head coach of the Buckeyes, really loves her, and you know, she's coming off of a knee injury and really showing what she's capable of doing here in the first set.
4 kills now for Emmy Selman, and the deficit is 10 kills for Ohio State to Penn State's 3. Free ball incoming, Penn State. We'll see if they gobble it up. Great pass from Grimes out to the pin. Jess Merzick in a one-on-one situation. That's the damage of a free ball.
Yeah, she's got such a fast arm, and I love her approach. She just has great timing on the ball. Take a look at how she gets all the way back and then is just going after the block. She's fearless. She sees the hands in front of her and just goes for it. Love this player.
Just deep on the serve for Penn State. Ava Felduto. Vicious with the attempt. How about this? Ohio State seeking their first win against the top 3 opponents since 2006, their first home win. Did do some damage in 2022 with their miraculous run. That was in the tournament, though, so this would be a big milestone for Ohio State, a team that's really looking to get some confidence on their side right now.
Yeah, they've got great pieces. They just have to pull it all together, and part of it is just believing in themselves. So once everybody gets healthy and they start working as a cohesive unit, I think these Buckeyes are really going to flip things around in terms of the win-loss column.
None better to lead this group than Jen Flynn Oldenburg. She's a player's coach. She likes the team to dictate the leadership, guides when she needs to. Jess Merzick back to serve. Effectively, Webker pulls it off the 10-foot line, but still swings her way out of trouble in a 2-block situation.
And that's a 5'9" freshman outside.
Yeah.
Just is showing tremendous courage here. Taking this ball and just going high off the blocker's hands, ripping it. And look at that angle shot. Well done.
Jen Flynn Oldenburg calls her a baller. She's an in-state kid. They love having her. Swiss Army knife, Ohio State. In transition now. Big swing from Webker again. Out to the pin. Cameron Hanna loads up and gets the tool in a suspicious way, but they'll take him.
Yeah, take that crazy roll off the net, but great backcourt defense by Penn State to keep them alive in that rally. You know, I think that's what it's going to come down to for Penn State. You know, can they block and dig their way, you know, back into this one? They're only down by 3, but so far, backcourt defense is looking pretty good.
Maggie Mendelson with a big serve to set up the point. Former Husker, also played hoops for Nebraska as well, her first 2 seasons there. Clearly an incredible athlete and clearly a great server too. Deep float serve handled by Webker. Back out to Webker, split block situation. Who says 5'9" can't hit in the Big Ten?
But what I'm seeing is just not only outstanding swings, but such great ball control. First contact, she is going for it. And then look at the hang time here, just going hard, deep into the court. It's a really tough ball to defend.
Back to serve now is Reese Webker. Off the net, she'll accept the gift. 2016. Ohio State needs 5 more to create what could be an upset in the making. We'll see. Another look. Sometimes they'll take a little blessing off the tape. Love the fearlessness so far from Webker. Much better pass for Penn State. Tight on the set though. Ohio State sends a free ball over. Grimes steps in to handle it, and Izzy Stark gets involved in the offense. Two-man goes right to the middle. Dug out, Grimes flying across the court. Couldn't make it. Ohio State up 21-16.
My goodness, Emily Londot playing some big-time defense in that right back area of the court, just sprawling to save the ball. And, you know, that's the competitive spirit you want from your captain and your leader.
Katie Schumacher-Cawley calls a timeout as her team struggles so far. And set one, it's all Ohio State in Columbus. Led by the incomparable Russ Rose, the Nittany Lions dominated the sport of volleyball in the late 2000s. Relive their remarkable run on the big story, The Streak, immediately after the match, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. I can tell you it is epic. You do not want to miss it. Coming up next after the match, and Jess Merzick right now, my goodness, she is fielding BBs at the service line. They are picking on her and moving her around a lot on serve receive.
Yeah, absolutely. She is under pressure to perform in first ball contact, but she is a great competitor, up for the challenge. There you see a couple really good passes and then big time swings from her on the left side. So she will settle in. I've seen Merzick play in really tight situations, and you know, she keeps the bad plays, she forgets about them, flushes them out, and comes back and competes hard.
Well, that was what that Penn State magical team did back in 2008. When we talk about the streak coming up next, it is unmatched. 109 straight wins. Back to the match now. Ohio State up 22-16. Emmy Selman lighting it up. 5 kills for her on the match.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, just the improvement that we've seen in the left side hitters. You know, we talked to Jen Flynn Olderberg and we're like, what is your calling card this year? What do you want it to be? And she said, I want my offense to be spread out. I want to make sure that we're setting everybody and they're able to score. Well, we are certainly seeing that tonight from the Buckeyes.
Yeah, we are. Taylor Trammell with a nice response out of the middle, though. Izzy Stark says that's a big part of their offense. A perfect night for her would be a balanced offense on her side as well, to your points. On the opposing side, Stark back to serve. A methodical jump floats, gets Webker out of system. Big swing from Selman and a big block from Penn State.
And you can see when the ball is out of system, the block for Penn State has more time to react. And here you're going to see it's just perfectly formed. You can see number one, Trammell for Penn State, line up perfectly, and there you have an easy block.
To the pin again, it's Emmy Selman. She's getting creative on the pin too, making veteran plays.
Yeah, you gotta love it when you can take a not so perfect set and still get a point. That is the sign of a champ, and she is displaying her talent tonight. Selman, just a freshman.
6 kills for her so far on the night. Olivia Hasbrook back to serve. It's a nice float, and again to Merzick, the target on serve receive. Cameron Hanna lighting it up on the pin. They need more action out of their middles and pins across the board for Penn State. Very quiet night so far. Jess Merzick only with 3 kills for Penn State. That's almost unheard of to this point in the set. Hanna with a big serve, controlled by Longtop. Serve receive, Grimes gets it up. It's alive. No call. Hasbrook up to Tooman, who runs the middle. Great dig again from Grimes. Athletic play from Stark just to keep it in play. Perfect pass from Longdot. Selman giving them trouble. It's still alive. Merzick going for kill number 4. She doesn't get it. Hasbrook steps in to defend it. Selman beats Grimes on the outer edge of the Penn State block. This kid is changing the match right now.
Oh my gosh, she is a difference maker, but great defensive gets on both sides of the net. This is Big Ten volleyball at its finest here. Could there be an upset tonight?
We'll
my
see.
Goodness.
Set point right here in the hands of Mia Tooman, the all-star competitor, sophomore, originally from Pennsylvania. Big serve again to Merzick, tight to Stark in a jail situation. Stark still finds a way to get that ball out of the net, but that's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, tight set, and Stark finds a way to pump it to the outside, and Merzick, just so creative, finds a way to get that crucial point to keep her team in this first set.
Jillian Grimes, the junior out of Illinois, back to serve in a pressured situation. Ohio State closes out set number 1, 25-20, off the top 3 team in the nation.
Brandewie with a little touch shot over the block, and the fans here in the Covelli are absolutely going wild. Take a look at that huddle. They believe that they can do it tonight.
Set 2 on the brink next. Emmy Selman has been lights out so far for the Buckeyes. We'll see if they can sustain this high level of success in set number 2. First match played at the Shot. In program history, Buckeyes hit just 135 against their arch rival, the University of Michigan, but in an excellent atmosphere nonetheless, Audrey.
Yeah, Buckeye fans definitely showed up for that one, and you know, good little rivalry there, the Ohio State-Michigan battle, but Michigan came out on top on that one Sunday.
Well, Emmy Selman has been the story so far for Ohio State. Just a freshman, has 7 kills so far on the match. 14 is her career high. What's been jumping out to you the most here, Audrey?
Well, she's being very aggressive. She's showing absolutely no fear, and she's playing back row just as aggressively as she's playing front row. So this is a super dynamic, very talented freshman for the Buckeyes, and Jen Flynn Oldenburg wants her to keep ripping the ball, and I'm actually very excited. Mia Tumen is setting a really balanced offense for the Buckeyes too, and we haven't really seen that from the Buckeyes so far this season.
Tumen was the selection to run a faster, more balanced offense, and right out of the gate, a roof for Ohio State.
Such a great competitive spirit there. You've got Emily Londot versus Jess Merzick, and take a look at this big-time stuff by Londot. What a reaction. Yeah, let's go, she says.
Love that reaction from Londot. Great serve from Tumen. Grimes handles it, though. Trammell comes from out of nowhere in the middle, and you have to look out for that. Penn State starting to get a little more crafty with their offense.
Yeah, it's a little unpredictable when the setter's moving forward to set that back quick, but Trammell runs the route, and of course Stark can feel her there. She's calling for the ball, so that's great. Great offensive rhythm by Penn State.
Jillian Grimes back to serve. She's a staple for this Penn State team. And chatting with their coaching staff and what she brings to the table, she's just stability. Back there, doesn't get a ton of credit always. And always stable. Londot pushes it to Grimes. It's Stark in the middle again for Penn State, dug out by Ohio State. Hasbrook throws in a shot. And it's Merzick who dumps that one into the block. And a point for Penn State.
Yeah, I love the power tip that we're seeing now from some of the outsides in the Big Ten Conference. Jess Merzick doing it beautifully in that play, just taking the ball and really pushing it off of Londot's arms out of bounds.
Tumen out to the pin again to Selman. Why not feed the hot hand right now on the match?
I think the really great defensive players can recognize when that tip is coming and adjust their position defensively. Here you see the elbow drop, the hand open, and at that point when you're a middle back player, you've got to take off because you got half the court in the back court.
Another beautiful set from Izzy Stark. Back to the pin of Jurevicius. Tumen to the pin. Webker dumps it in. Back again, Jurevicius with a big rip. Stark looking for answers. Nobody's home, but Merzick finds a way to roll it over. Londot is the choice for Ohio State. Hasbrook with a quick dig. Londot again. Grimes. Ooh, almost an athletic play for Jess Merzick. Ambitious, but that is one heavy arm from Emily Londot.
It's like in the midst of the rally, it's like she gets stronger and stronger, and she's just so determined to score for her team. There's a heart of a champ right there.
Who would have thought Emmy Selman would have had double the kills of Emily Londot so far in the match? Ohio State sees that. They're pretty happy with their future. Great dig by Selman out of the back row. And how about Emily Londot again? First she went line, then she went cut.
Yeah, and what a cut it was. That was so sharp. That was about 8 feet from the net. Take a look at this rip. What a great defensive play by Selman for the Buckeyes. And take a look at this. It goes inside the 10-foot line. That's a beast. She's in beast mode right now.
And isn't she? I mean,
Right.
my goodness. Just consistently producing. London again. Tips it. A break from the net. Great scramble from Stark. Laying it all out there for Penn State. Running the middle, Riley Rader gets a quick. How about that set from Mia Tumen? That's what they wanted out of their offense here tonight.
Yeah, every once in a while, you got to dish the ball to Rader. She's always up early with her arm back. Great position in terms of being away from the net where she can swing right through the ball. So, boy, this Buckeye team, they came out fired up tonight.
Rader in her final lap in college, and what a play from Merzik. That's smart. That's what wisdom will bring you over the years for Jess Merzik, trying to get anything going on her side, dumps it to the corner. Hard to read too in that play, because usually when you see that elbow dropping, you think that ball's going short. That deep push to the line is effective for a player like Jess Merzik. And a thumper goes down. Penn State map. Point set up by Ava Feldudo, freshman defensive specialist.
Yeah, tough serve here. Again, the serve gives her team the opportunity to score, and that is the game within the game, the serve pass game. Yeah.
Wow, how about that swing from the undersized Reese Webker, who plays with a whole lot of heart.
My goodness. I don't think head coach for Penn State, Katie Schumacher-Colley, really predicted this type of swing here on the outside. You know, we have to note that Webker has taken Grace Egan's spot, who is out, and boy, she has really done a great job so far tonight for the Buckeyes.
She did step into the lineup here and there early on in the season, was kind of that utility player. She's really embraced her role, and when her number is called, it's not always easy to be that player that steps in a split second's notice. She's risen to the occasion. Riley Rader back to serve now for the Buckeyes. Originally from Louisville, Kentucky. That's a big block from Emily London, a solo stuff.
This Buckeye team is so emotionally charged right now. And look at that, one-on-one. Wow.
Unbelievable read. Look at how much space she takes up with both hands. It's like hitting against a double block, but it's just Emily London.
Right.
And answered right back with a lot of pride. Maggie Mendelson, junior middle blocker for Penn State.
You know, and this is what I love about pin hitters. They just have to forget about a block or an error, and they just have to come back strong. If you're holding on to every time you get blocked or you hit the ball out of bounds, you're not going to survive in this league at all.
They're resilient humans, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Webker again, a big swing, but you appreciate the fearlessness. I mean, she is playing like she is 6'3". Webker.
Absolutely, and I think it's always great when you have somebody with her ball control ability playing 6 rotations. She's going to keep the ball alive and give her setter the opportunity to run an offense.
Just competes every point, too. I like that set a lot. From Mia Tumen to the middle, Eloise Brandowie, local kid from Columbus, Ohio.
Yep.
Father played college basketball here for Ohio State, and she takes a lot of pride in wearing this jersey.
Absolutely. Wears the same number as her dad did in college when he played basketball here, but really smart and tricky set by Tumen to dish her the ball.
Cameron Hanna loads up with a big swing. It works. Penn State right in it in set number 2. Trailing majority of the way through this match, though. Trailed the entire time in set 1. Same theme here in set 2. See how they handle the pressure. The Big Ten will test you.
Absolutely. Way to get back in it with tough serving, and Katie Schumacher-Colley calls on her DS right now to put in a really tough serve to challenge the Buckeyes right now.
Quinn Menger is the defensive specialist called upon. Ohio State dishes back to the pin. Great dig from Feldudo. There's Merzik out of the back row. Guns blazing.
Yeah. That's a great set to force the ball to Merzik. And you're going to see that Ohio State kind of out of sorts here. you cannot lose track of where she is, and the block right there for Ohio State, just losing sight of where Merzik is.
Izzy Stark saying it's always nice to have a player like Merzik to rely upon in any situation. And with the dump there is Izzy Stark, and a very smart time to do it. No blocker on Ohio State side was reading that one.
Yeah, setters, really good setters have that sixth sense when they can tell when that blocker is up against them. Izzy Stark recognizes that the block is down and hits the angle, tips the angle for a big point.
Ohio State out to the pin, Webker again, and it gets called a touch off of the Penn State block. I love the way Reese Webker plays the game. Yeah, and I love that she hasn't let her dreams be denied of hitting in the Big Ten at 5'9". That's unheard of.
Yeah, and
today's game.
Absolutely, she's a gifted athlete. You can see her jumping ability and just the shots that she has, and her future is so bright.
No gift from the top of the tape, but Jess Merzik will accept said gift. All smiles, no pressure seemingly felt on the side of Penn State. Izzy Stark back to serve now. We'll see where she targets in the serve-receive rotation for Ohio State. Emmy Selman a couple of weeks ago saw a lot of balls in serve-receive. Let's see if the same holds true here. And that was the target, just a bit wide.
Yeah, you called it, Michelle.
Yeah, Oregon pointed that out to us when we were here just a couple of weeks ago. Right. She saw a lot of, that's really the strategy a lot. Test the youngsters.
Absolutely.
See what they're made of. And then if they're not cracking, then you work the next target.
Absolutely.
Olivia Hasbrook rises to the pressure so well as a freshman, too. That was her serve, and a nice one. Gets Penn State out of system, but they bail themselves out at the pin. Juravicius notching that kill. Father Joe was a wide receiver at Penn State, also had a 10-year NFL career, winning the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Great athlete, great family. Not a system for Ohio State. Selman lines up and gets them out of absolute jail.
That's a big-time swing. The ball's coming from deep in the backcourt, and you just have to delay your approach. Take a look at how Selman just is patient on this one, lets that bump set go, and then just goes for it. And she sees that the block has not committed cross-court enough, and her skill just rips that ball cross-court for a winner.
Trammell with a monstrous swing. Grimes jumps into the play. Stark pushes it to the pin. Another gutsy set. She makes it look easy, Izzy Stark, but she is pulled off the net. The ball's coming from over her left shoulder, and it comes out of her hands like glass. Yeah,
she's just really smooth, very talented, and
falling back.
Yeah,
look at that set.
Falling back, and just the upper body strength to deliver that ball where it needs to go is super impressive.
Emmy Selman packs a cannon with that arm swing. And that's a special talent for years to come for Ohio State.
So if you're Penn State, what can you do? You've got to make sure now you've got to recognize, man, this kid's getting big-time swings, maybe commit block, maybe cheat a little bit toward her, and then you've got to be able to play good defense around a well-formed block, but another serve goes to Jess Merzik.
And a touch she is begging for off the block. It's denied. Katie Schumacher-Cauley might be pulling out the green card, and she will be challenging the touch here. We'll take a closer look at it as soon as we have it.
I'm noticing the Buckeyes are not just serving Jess Merzik, but they're serving her deep up to her chest, so she has to move back.
Original call was ball out.
It's just that delay.
Ohio State. Penn State is challenging that there was a touch.
So it's that delay on the approach that really kind of messes up your timing.
That's a great observation by you, Audrey, for sure. Yeah, you can tell she's feeling it. Her numbers are saying the same. Okay, 9 kills, I guess we'll say. Maybe her numbers aren't feeling it, but for Jess Merzik's standards, I would say she's maybe feeling the heat there. I'm not sure I saw a touch on that first angle. I'm not sure I see it there.
I think this is going to be the best angle. I think there's a touch.
Yep. I mean, it's almost impossible for Londot to not get a touch. She is so monstrous with her block.
After review, there was a touch by the Ohio State blocker. Point Penn State. Call is reversed. Penn State retains their challenge.
Let's talk about the skill that it takes to do what Jess Merzick did right there in that play.
Yes.
Again, the serve pulled her deep right at her chest. She just put the ball up high, and then not to be frazzled at all by that poor pass, she goes up and swings for a winner. So that's the sign of a champ and an All-American in Jess Merzick.
Yeah, all smiles for Coach Katie, too. Takes one to no one. She was a special player for Penn State for many years as well. Jess Merzick plays very free. I like that about her. She has a good mental attitude, has a good head about her. Back to the action. Ohio State goes to Reese Webker, tracked down by Stark. Jelena, the older sister of Izzy, the setter. Mia Tooman forces the middle, and a good choice. It's still alive. Oh my. Penn State gets it along. Jess Merzick with a chance to attack, and that has to feel good. Mark that as a potential momentum changing point for Penn State.
Absolutely, and what I saw was Stark jump sets, holds the block here. Take a look at this great dig first, and then the great hustle play to keep the ball alive. But the winning point came when Eloise Brandewie bit and jumped with the middle, and then Merzick found herself one-on-one.
Eva Faldudo, impressive defensive specialist out of the backcourt. Hasbrook to the outside pin, and Emily Londot ties it at 14.
Well, just think about the shots that we've seen from Londot. We've seen two incredibly sharp cross-court shots. Now we see one deep down the line, and then just powering through the block. So this is what makes her such a special, special player here in D1 volleyball, and a gem for Ohio State.
Yeah, she rarely misses, too. Very consistent. Love the set from Izzy Stark to the outslide. We'll see what Mendelson does. Nope, that time it's Merzick down the line. Webker with the attack. Mendelson again, and a wise choice for Izzy Stark to go back to the slide. Penn State now taking the 1-point edge. It's set number 2 over Ohio State, though trailing a set. We'll see what they come up with. The sport across the country, and there's a wide representation of who's involved in the film. Nicole Fawcett on the left, and Megan Hodge-Easy on the right. Two players that were a part of that 109-match winning streak and a legacy of a program that Russ Rose led.
Absolutely. He was the right man at the right time, at the right place, and he was able to adjust and recruit as the game changed from side-out scoring to rally scoring. He recruited Fawcett and Hodge, big, big guns on the pin, and that was really the start of everything.
I mean, speaking from the perspective of having played against Penn State during that era, let me just tell you, it was never fun seeing Penn State on the schedule. You already chalked it up as a loss. I don't care who you were. You did not believe that you could win that match. And Megan Hodge was just so casual in her approach and so dominant.
Yeah, and you were a DS, so that would be terrifying.
Yeah, first career start against Penn State didn't end well for me, let's just say that. Back out to the pin, Cameron Hanna now throws it down. Hasbrook with a nice dig. Answered back, Ava Faldudo taking over the left back court. And 2 digs now for Faldudo that has turned the attention in this set number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to be a game of backcourt defense. Who can keep the ball alive? And right now, both teams really just going hard for the ball. And there you see Penn State's block coming up big time for a point.
Maggie Mendelson back to serve now, but in the front row, it's quite the mismatch in a blocking scenario. We'll get to that in just a moment. Nice deep serve Mendelson has, too. See what kind of swing Reese Webker comes up with, and it's another scrappy play from...
Yeah, you know, you talk about the matchup there. When Mendelson is front row, Stark is really trying to exploit the size there of Webker when she's in the front row by running slides with Mendelson, who's 6'5", over the 5'9" blocker for the Buckeyes. So we'll see that matchup and be tracking it here in the rest of set 2.
Out of system for Penn State. Cameron Hanna bails them out. State having the edge that point. And Penn State looking to regroup. This match, I think, tighter than they would expect, but Ohio State playing really nice volleyball right now. Just going back to the legacy of Penn State, Russ Rose retired in 2021. 7 national championships. Had an all-time coaching record of 1,330 wins, Audrey Flaw, to 229 losses. You've been around this sport a long time. That's an incredible number.
Yeah, you know, he's a legend, and he was able to not only get the best players in the nation to come to Penn State, but then, you know, he knew how to challenge them. He knew how to set the bar high. I'll tell you what, I thought, you know, over the course of the years that I followed Penn State, you know, when Russ Rose was there, he always had the best setters too. So this was a team, and he knew how to coach them. And I'm telling you what, Russ Rose, he's going to go down in history as one of the best coaches in collegiate volleyball for sure.
That's deep for Hannah. And in the documentary, all the Penn State players acknowledge the common denominator is coaching. He won't accept the credit. He won't accept it. Chatted with him briefly earlier before he says it's all about the players. But look at this, Audrey. Longest Division I win streaks. It is not even close. Penn State, 109 straight match wins. Wrap your head around that for just a moment. The next closest is 52. That will never happen again.
No, it won't happen again. And you've got to watch the streak because it's so well done. Kudos to Kaylee Ryan at the Big Ten Network for compiling just such great players to talk about the streak and the legacy of Russ Rose.
It is epic. You do not want to miss it. But how about this set number 2? Also epic. A 1-point lead now for the Buckeyes. We'll see if they can hang on next.
Well, you know, I love that Indiana-Purdue match, of course, and I'll be up in Michigan with the Wisconsin matchup. But, you know, they're all good. But take a look at that Penn State-Minnesota one on Sunday. Yeah. You cannot ignore that one. So every night, every match is going to be a tough one. Which one are you looking forward to?
I think the one tomorrow, Nebraska-Ohio State, with the way Ohio State is playing now.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. There are no easy nights in the Big Ten. And tough turnaround for them to pick back up at 3:30 tomorrow to play. But I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. Nebraska unbeaten in the Big Ten as well after a sweep over Michigan State tonight. And Ohio State now solidifying a 2-point lead in set 2. This could potentially be a sweep situation for Ohio State if they can hang on. We'll see. There's still a lot of match left, but wouldn't that be the storyline?
Yeah, and Penn State has some good pin hitters on their bench. We'll see if Katie Schumacher-Colley goes to her bench at all to get some relief.
Good crash course for the defense of Ohio State, but that ball lands. Well played by Penn State. Sometimes you just got to dish the ball to the middle, and that's the most successful offensive choice.
Yeah, you know, they've got great angles, and it's really hard for those wing diggers, the right back and the left back digger, to make plays on tips that are just powered through.
Here's a look at Cameron Hanna, graduate outside attacker on the pin. Originally from Lansing, Illinois, transfer out of Clemson. Deep and just a bit wide there on the serve.
Yeah, Penn State just missing their target right now. You know, they're definitely serving down the line, trying to pick on Selman, and just kind of short of hitting their target right now.
Mia Tuman has run a really nice offense so far tonight. She goes right to Grimes, though, the barrel, and that is what you're charged with, because that's a dime of a pass. You could tell she was going for the seam there, but Grimes all over it.
And Markley is in right now for Penn State, swinging on that right side. So coach did go to her bench and called her number. We'll see what she can do.
It's number 19 up to block right now, and that ball is deep. A lot of energy so far from Alexa Markley, to your point, the junior out of Georgia. Ohio State will call a timeout now. Tie set situation, 21 all, and let's take a look again at what Audrey Flaw and myself, Michelle McMahon, have been talking about. It's the streak coming up next. After this match, it's going to be a good one. Here's a little preview.
The day before the national semifinal, there's always an open practice. That practice can be for spectators, for other coaches that are attending the coaches convention. We're at our pre-meeting before that. And he said to the players, I want you to switch practice jerseys. And they looked at him like he was crazy. And he said, the people who are coming to this practice don't know our players, but they know the numbers. It was a mastermind thing for him because he was playing chess when everyone else was playing checkers.
Audrey, I remember when that happened at the time. Loved Ross Rose for that decision. Nicole Fawcett has a great story, too, to landing with the Ohio State coaching program. Two-time national champion in 2007 and 2008. Of course, U.S. national team member, also a four-time All-American, just a legend out of Penn State. Jen Flynn Oldenburg told us this morning when she submitted her resume to Jean, she was like, yeah, we'll take her. She doesn't have a lot of coaching experience, but I think her resume speaks for herself. And over on the Penn State bench, Megan Hodge, easy, three-time national champion. Her accolades speak for herself as well. And she was deemed one of the most intelligent players Russ Rose has ever coached. He said if it was between me and her, she wins.
Yeah.
And Russ Rose, a smart cookie. I mean, a statistician at best. I'm telling you, it's awesome. Even if you're not a Penn State volleyball fan, you have to watch it for the appreciation of the sport. That is a great play by Merzik. And now Penn State with a 1-point edge. If you're Ohio State, you feel like they've got to close out the set number 2 to have a chance in this match. I feel like Penn State might gravitate towards a bit of confidence here if they can get a run. Nice serve by Grimes. Mia Tooman goes back to the slide. Riley Raider time.
What's impressive about that is Ohio State did not press the panic button. They were relaxed on serve receive, delivered a great pass, and then take a look at this route. That's a tough set to make, and Tooman just delivers it on a dime. Raider celebrating that big kill.
Those Assumption girls out of Louisville, their competitors. Emmy Selman back to serve. That's a nice deep float serve. Starks serving from beyond the 10-foot line. What a finish for Jess Merzik in a double block situation.
Yeah, pass pulling Stark off the net, and so you know that there's not a middle, but it doesn't really matter when you have an arm like Jess Merzik. She will take the ball, be patient, and then just rip it. So, you know, Penn State really relying on their pins here because passing it seems to be a little bit off.
Londa gets Ohio State out of trouble, just as Jess Merzik seems to do the same thing on their side.
Yeah, I think they called that ball out, so the point actually goes to Penn State. So set point for Penn State.
Yeah, you're right indeed. 24. Jess Merzik, we talked about her numbers with little quiet to start the match, but now she has 13 kills and hitting above 300 at the moment. She's just an impressive athlete. It's not easy to play every night with a target on your back.
Oh, absolutely not. And, you know, a target she has had on serve receive, but she has just elevated her game in the front court. And there you see a perfectly set back row attack for Merzik. Just a powerful force. And then, you know, the expression and her demeanor on the court is always so positive, so competitive. She's constantly talking to her freshman setter, giving feedback. And so she is the backbone of this Penn State team.
Well, here's what we teased in the open, essentially. The primetime hitters going at it right now. Jess Merzik leading the way, hitting 300. And what is Penn State doing right now to at least manage London at the moment?
I mean, London still has 8 kills, but, you know, right now Ohio State is really setting other players. But in terms of slowing London down, you know, they're just digging a few balls. But I'm telling you what, it's a battle that I just love to see. These two competitive, very highly skilled pin hitters going at it. And it's going to be interesting to see if Ohio State can have calm and just execute this side out for a big time point.
Merzik leading the way with all attackers so far on the match with 13. Emmy Selman right behind her with 12. That's Ava Felduto back to serve, the freshman DS who's been a difference maker on defense. London goes with a tip right to the middle of the court.
Yeah, and what's concerning right now for Penn State is the hesitation on defense. I mean, that ball was not a power tip. Kind of went up and over, and you would have thought you would have seen a few people collapsing or going hard for the ball. So that is a little problematic right now. I'm sure head coach is going to be having a conversation with her backcourt defense.
Riley Rader back to serve. It's a deep float. Grimes handles it. Merzik is the go-to choice, and why wouldn't it be at set points? Penn State takes the second 25-23, but it was close all the way through.
Just Merzik coming alive there in the second set, getting some key swings for points, and don't think Penn State thought it was going to be this close. They got a match in front of them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. So set number 3 up for grabs. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We're just getting started. From Columbus, Ohio, the Buckeyes are in it. Now even in sets. What's impressing you so far in the match?
Well, who would have thought that Webker and Selman would be out hitting Londot in terms of hitting percentage, but what's equally as impressive is both of their backcourt defense, their ability to play first ball on serve receive, and then they're just grinding it out defensively. So I think Penn State walked into this one scouting heavily Emily Londot, and now a little surprise, little game plan adjustment here going into the third set, I'm sure.
Well, Riley Rader has been great, Reese Webker has been great, and so has Emmy Selman, who has 12 kills so far on the match, hitting almost 300. And this is a player to watch for many years to come, Audrey.
Yeah, highly recruited out of high school and club, and she's showing why. She's a nice, tall player that hits at a high point of contact with a ton of power. But she's being called on to play 6 rotations, and again, I'm so impressed with not only what she can do with her swing, but her defensive grit in the backcourt, too.
She's 2 kills away from matching a career-high 14. She could easily surpass that here. A lot of match left. We begin set number 3 now between these two. We'll see how motivated Penn State comes out after a little chat with head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley.
No, I think that's one of the great things about volleyball is these in-match adjustments that are being made, and you can really tell how talented coaches are when they can adjust the game plan. So we'll see what Penn State does here in the third.
Big attack from Londot out of the back row, finds the corner right between 2 defenders.
That's a tough shot to defend. Londot going cross court right at zone 1, and you know that ball is just there's no chance of it getting up. There was no defensive player there for that ball.
Mia Tuman back to serve. Ooh, looked like that one might have floated out. Trammell gets involved in the middle, and a great set again from Izzy Stark. You talked about the adjustments in volleyball, one of the best things you like. Izzy Stark talked to us about that's one of the things that has been challenging her as a young setter. Every single set is different, every match is different. She is locked in for every single matchup and every single opponent. Tuman out to the pin now. Selman tests the middle, and that ball has worked well for both sides.
Yeah, and I do want to note that Alexa Markley, number 19, is in for Penn State. So she did not start the match, was called on in the latter part of the second set, and now she has gotten the start here in the third. So she is a shoddy right side, and perhaps maybe a little bit better of a block, at least lining up with the outside hitters for Ohio State.
Back to Londot, denied. Mendelson and Merzik put up a big physical block.
Man, how do you hit around that? If that ball is dying at the point of contact, the advantage definitely goes to the block. It was a good set, but there you see Merzik is all over it.
Ava Faldudo back to serve. A compact jump float serve she possesses. What a dig from Grimes. Love that. Big swing from Merzik. A back set to Londot. Where does Stark go with it? She runs the slide to Mendelson. Successfully goes right to the right back position on Mia Tuman.
Yeah, and there's that matchup that we're talking about. You've got Mendelson at 6'5", running the slide over top of a shorter blocker there for Ohio State. Take a look at her point of contact well above the blocker. We're talking about number 17, undersized there. Webker has been a champ all night, but you're going to exploit, a good setter will exploit those height mismatches. So Stark knows exactly where she wants to put that ball.
Still impressive, the hang time and what Webker can touch at 5'9". I mean, she gets up there. Unbelievable. Riley Rader back to serve now. That float serve died off for Angelina Stark. Tuman out to the pin. Webker swings right into the block. That's a heavy hanging block by Izzy Stark.
Yeah, Izzy Stark just so strong across the shoulders. Take a look at how she lines up perfectly. And it's that reach over that she does so well. You know, blocking, I think, is the hardest skill for freshmen to grasp, especially in this conference. Stark doing a phenomenal job there of sealing the net.
Londa on the pin again, goes for that middle. That has to be frustrating for Coach Katie.
You just can't be on your knees if that ball has not hit the ground, and that's what we're seeing when Emily Londot has been tipping the ball in the middle of the court. You're not running through the ball right now, and so I know that's what head coach Katie Schumacher-Colley would like to see. Don't go on your knees until you play that ball up.
Is that one of your coaching pet peeves?
Oh, absolutely. You run through the ball.
Right.
Yeah, stay on your feet, run it down.
I know that what some call the donut, the center of the court is difficult to cover, but those it can be frustrating.
Yeah, it's difficult because oftentimes you have two people going for the ball and you're afraid you're going to smack heads, but that's not the case. What I'm seeing here is they're just stopping and they're thinking someone else is going to play the ball. So that's frustrating.
That's a coach's pet peeve for sure. Nice serve by Menger. Trammell tries to swing out of it. Out of system, and a roll shot to the middle from Emily Londot. Makes a decision mid-swing, mid-approach.
Yeah, she does it all, every single shot. Great hand-to-ball contact in order to get some top spin on this. And the block did the right thing. That wasn't going to be a thunderous hit, so you back off and you let your backcourt defense play it. But just well executed in that donut hole that you talk about.
Izzy Stark goes for it on the set. I love the set, love the choice. It's deep, doesn't count, but that's the kind of set that you saw in her match against Louisville to start the year that you said she's going to be special.
Oh yeah, she is definitely going to be a big-time player for Penn State.
Reese Webker back to serve. She's got a gnarly jump float. Trammell in the middle, and net violation called on Ohio State. Penn State will. This match has been tight all the way through. Big credit to Jen Flynn Oldenburg and her entire team wearing their pink ribbons in support of Katie Schumacher-Colley. Nice track down from Webker. Big swing defended Penn State. Cameron Hanna goes up with it. Selman to the pin. And a net violation called on Alexa Markley, the 6'2" junior of Peachtree City, Georgia.
Hey, and if you're a Buckeye fan, you gotta love the fight that you're seeing right now. This team is 1-5 in the conference, have had, you know, just some tough battles, and here they are against the number 3 team in the nation and really holding their own, doing a fantastic job.
Trammell in the middle, and how about that set from Izzy Stark? That's one that you love to see, forcing the middle on a quick attack.
I always say, you know, setters have to be able to make a good set, a smart set, and a tricky set. I kind of feel like, yeah, that one is a tricky set. You're coming off the net and pumping it to the middle. She's a player.
She doesn't play like a freshman at all. Has humility, too, despite the talent. And Emmy Selman making a run for it here as she surpasses her career high with that kill. 15 kills for Emmy Selman, hitting 370, an unstoppable force right now in the pin.
Yeah, she's having quite the night. This angle is just gnarly. She's been doing it all for the Buckeyes, and now she's starting to get some swagger to her, too, kind of strutting around that court.
No, that one's not the one you want to let drop. And more vocal on the side for Emmy Selman, too. When we were here 2 weeks ago, Andre, against Oregon, she looked a little bit more fearful and maybe just a little shell-shocked. Now she's settled in. She's confident. She's engaged. She's filling in with her teammates and supplying her thoughts.
Right. I feel like she trusts herself to make these big plays, and that comes from confidence and executing, as we have seen right here. Jennifer Oldenburg wanted her to just go out and play. She said, go, have fun and trust yourself. You've got a great arm. You've got great ability.
Time now.
There's a ton of emotion coming out.
State of Success, brought to you by State Farm. 13 kills, 1 error against Northwestern. Career high here tonight against Penn State. If you can get a career high 15, 16 kills now against a top 3 team in the nation, you're feeling good about your game.
Yeah.
If you're Emmy Selman. Serve is Felduto for Penn State. Tricky play in the middle from Riley Rader. She's been really effective so far tonight too.
Yeah, let's talk about the offense that Tumen is setting. First of all, she's getting some great passes, either right at the 10-foot line or in front of the 10-foot line. But she's mixing in her middles, and this is really keeping Penn State's defense off, and, you know, as a result, just scoring at will.
That's smart from Merzick. She was blowing up the block in all of her angles, then throws in a sneaky tip.
Yeah, the tip over top of the block, especially when the setter is there, is good on so many levels. First of all, that one scored, but if the setter plays the ball, then a non-setter is going to put up a, at a system set, and so a little bit more predictable for your block and backcourt defense.
That's a nice float serve from Merzick. Izzy Stark goes for it, hits it into the tape, and her reaction pretty much says it all after that one.
Yeah, she's like, man, I got lucky on that one, but I will take it. Let's take a look. And again, you have to know when the blocker is jumping with you, and that time she did have an open net and was forceful enough that it did trickle off the tape in her favor, but she wasn't really planning on doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But now she gets to keep the Ohio State block honest with her, and that's the beauty of a physical jump setter at the net like Izzy Stark is. Full awareness, Penn State. Now out to Mendelson, and there you saw a half-second of hesitation in the middle for the Ohio State middle block. Wasn't sure where Izzy Stark was going to go in the front row. Smart play.
Yeah, and I think what's impressive about Stark is that it looks very neutral as she's touching the ball, and then at the last minute gets her thumbs and wrists under the ball to push that slide out to that pin.
Nice set by Mia Tumen. And Ava Felduto tracks it down. Merzick sends a free ball to Ohio State. Now they'll have to defend. The powerhouse, Emmy Selman. It's good, and that is a well-thought-out kill for Emmy Selman on the back row.
And we haven't seen that all night long, so imagine if you're Penn State, you're thinking this free ball is going to Londot, and then what? It's in the back row to Selman? Come on now. So way to mix it up, Tumen.
Yeah, really good choice for Mia Tumen. Another serve receive pass far off the 10-foot line for Izzy Stark. Ohio State out of system. Selman's going to swing her way out of it. Almost drops. Mendelson off the pin, off the slide, and off the hands of the Ohio State block.
Yeah, any opportunity that Stark has to go with the slide. Mendelson, such a talented athlete, really quick on her feet, runs that route really well, and again, going over top of the shorter blocker for Ohio State. But Webker's getting her hands on it, just the backcourt can't execute the dig to keep the rally in play.
Yeah, that's a great observation by you. Webker goes right back at the swing. Emmy Selman amped up for the undersized Reese Webker, who plays like she's 6'3".
My goodness. I mean, these young ladies have come out to play tonight, and I'm telling you, the coaching staff for the Buckeyes, they are on their feet, and they are loving what they're seeing so far.
Webker back to serve, sends a bullet, and Penn State Ava Felduto now has tracked down 2 crazy balls. And a tip over the net. Grimes got it. Ohio State has to play out of it. Londot. Oh, can't close it out. One defense on the side of Penn State. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see this one again to see if this was actually, oh yeah, she got all of that.
That's so good. Mia Tumen saw that she got it and stay engaged in the play. My goodness, great dig by Jillian Grimes, who does not get enough credit as she might deserve as a libero. Selman with a big swing. It goes off the block and into the pin. Nope, it goes off the hitters, and Penn State will take the point. And with it, a 3-point lead here in set number 3. Jillian Grimes saving the day for the Penn State Nittany Lions. You love the full scramble defense, which is at a premium here in Columbus. Sunday, stream women's volleyball on Big Ten Plus when the Nittany Lions are back home for a marquee matchup with 14th ranked Minnesota. It's one of the thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten you can see this season on Big Ten Plus. Subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. That is going to be an absolute banger of a match to watch. Cannot wait. Big Ten dominating the national rankings right now, as always. Ohio State handles the free ball out to the pin. Emmy Selman just a bit wide, and Penn State with their biggest lead of the match so far, and it came in set number 3, Audrey.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. As you mentioned, 4 points ahead right now, but they have not been that far ahead in sets 1 and 2. So, wow, this is what Big Ten volleyball is all about, Michelle.
Exactly. Nice track down by Cameron Hanna, and full scramble. Well, Jillian Grimes finds her way out of it. Mia Tuman on the 10-foot line, and Londot, that looked like it was a front row attack with the trajectory she hit that kill. My goodness.
The official called that out, but the line judge called it in. They're going to have a little conversation here. Let's take a look at this. Ooh.
I don't know. That's close.
Yeah, he was pretty definitive with his call. Let's take a look here.
Oh, I see that out too.
Yeah.
I think she's right.
Yeah.
Worth a challenge anyways. Line judge called it in. Judge called it out.
Original call was ball out, point Penn State. Ohio State's challenging, ball in.
Any part of the ball that touches even the edge of the line, it's got to be in. So we'll have to take a quick peek and see if we see any black there outside of the court. Yeah, I think it is out.
Yeah, I think so. I think that last look we had a moment ago was the best one we had at it. From behind the ball, it's always going to look a little bit more in. I like this angle the best.
Yeah, I agree.
From behind the line, from behind where the line judge would see it. And I see that ball out. I don't blame the line judge for seeing this in as he's trying to dodge the missile coming at his face.
Exactly. Like close your eyes and take cover. And yeah, that was
in, I swear. It's just bending for his life. Emily Londa, I mean, my goodness, can we talk about the arm swing? Yeah. Most hitters in the Big Ten would be happy with
after
a front
video
row
review
to make
ball
that
was
sort
in.
of...
Successful challenge, Ohio State. Point Ohio State.
Wow. Surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really surprised at that one, but Buckeyes will take it.
A good challenge for Jen Flynn Oldenburg, having a ton of fun at her bench. And you spent a lot of time around Jen Flynn Oldenburg. What do you admire the most about her coaching style?
Well, I like that she's really loose all the time, but she's not overly serious, but not sloppy either.
Yes.
You know, she's very focused. She's able to recruit some
look at this guy.
some great talent as we're seeing here. So just a great recruiter as we're seeing as she got the #2 recruiting class in this freshman group. 6 true freshmen on her squad.
It's a great swing from Taylor Trammell out of the middle right away.
Yeah, she gets up quick, and her explosiveness, that arm swing of hers, it is lethal. And I like how she's always pushed a little bit away from the setter, so really hard to defend her and a potential back set.
A wicked serve from Cameron Hanna. Stays on the ground with it, but that is a massive floaty serve.
Yeah, that's a tough one to defend. So let's take a look. This is a great angle. You see it float, and then you see it dip right before the passer's arms.
Nothing worse getting burned on a serve like that if you're a serve receiver. Penn State on top 5, set 3.
I definitely don't. I think there's way too much parity right now across the country. I think you're seeing way more talented players coming out of club programs, and you'll never see this happen again. I don't believe so.
Unbelievable. And Blair Brown was a part of every single one. She is featured in this great story called The Streak, and you do not want to miss it. 2007 to 2010, 4 straight national championships. Russ Rose, 7 total on his coaching career. The winningest coach in all of college volleyball, and I believe he will hold that till the end of time. It's just really unheard of nowadays.
Yeah.
And that era of volleyball was so pure. Not that it's not now, but just the figures that we saw in it before. NIL and all that stuff too.
Yeah, no transfer portal, no NIL, you know, and club volleyball. Now they're producing so many great athletes, and so, like I said, there's a lot more parity in not only the Big Ten, but nationally. We're seeing some amazing teams throughout the country.
Not to say the changes are bad by any means for the sport. It's just we will never see something like that again. It's worth a watch. It really is. Mia Tuman back to serve now for Ohio State in a 3-point hole to Penn State. This feels like a must-win situation for Ohio State. Get that confidence back. Set 2 could have gone either way. Emmy Selman gets dug up in the back row by Stark. Merzick gets dug up in response by Hasbrook. This freshman libero. Grimes in the mix defensively. And to the pin, off the hands is Alexa Markley. She's been a great player out on the pin for Penn State.
Markley loves playing here at Ohio State. She's had big matches in the past, but great defense on both sides of the net. Both liberos just digging in and taking these bullets. But here you see Markley just going for that high shot deep. She's having a good night.
Markley in for Caroline Juravicius. And running the middle is Izzy Stark, and Maggie Mendelson somehow comes away with it.
Right, and again, it's Markley just getting her hands to slow down that attack by Selman on the left side, and then the back eight is able to control the dig and run middle.
That's a great serve. Oh, wow, what a get from Tuman. Grimes is on it. And Merzick goes into the hands of Emmy Selman, who thought that play was well done, and Mia Tuman said not so fast. Great track down there. And here's another look at the play.
Here you're going to see off hands and into the antenna. And so that is a great shot there. You can see it again. Hands, antenna, point Penn State.
(21-15) lead now for Penn State as we take a look at the Big Ten standings. Nebraska 7-0 after their win tonight over Michigan State. Penn State right behind them, 2 teams unscathed, and they will only meet one time this season, Audrey. It's at the end of the year. Last match for Penn State, second to last match for Nebraska. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and it is at Penn State, as you mentioned, and that is going to be one that people are going to mark on their calendars. You know, Penn State, Nebraska, I have witnessed some incredible matches between those 2 teams. Epic battles, and so well coached. So yeah, I've got that one circled.
Yes, me too, as we take a look at the standings as well. And the Big Ten is dominant. 7 Big Ten teams in the top 25, leading the ACC and Big 12 by just 1. But Big Ten at it again, and you look at the top 10 even closer, dominating the mix there too.
Yeah, and even the teams that aren't ranked. You know, let's look at Ohio State, 1-5, 8-8 overall, and giving everything they got to Penn State right now. So even if these teams are not ranked, they are competitive. And when you are on the road in this conference, it is a it's really tough to get a win. So right now we can see Ohio State giving everything they got to Penn State.
There's a look at the top 50 in terms of RPI as well. 4 Big Ten teams in the top 10, by the way, in the rankings. I mean, that's just unprecedented. And that's That's a great response from Ohio State out of the timeout called.
Yeah, nice block there, reaching up and over, not being a high target on the block, getting those paws over the net. And I used to always tell my players, you know, just pretend you're choking the hitter. Get your hands wrapped around the ball.
That's a good analogy. As Stark goes to the pin to Merzick, who pulls it just outside the hands of the block, and Mia Tumen was telling Olivia Hasbrook, get out of the way, I'm coming.
Hasbrook, a great dig, and what I love about her play right now is how well she's defending outside of the block. She's got a lot of court that she's responsible for, that ball being hit outside her body, but then really setting a pick and not allowing Tumen to get around her. So that'll happen. But, you know, Coach Jen Flynn Oldenburg wants to see, you know, her team continue to be aggressive here.
Nice defensive play by Ava Faldudo. She's coming with a couple of those during her opportunities. And denied is Webker out on the pin. Penn State all over the matchup. Started with the dig, though. I love the way that Ava Faldudo, the freshman defensive specialist, has been playing. She's tracked down a couple of impossible balls, too.
Yeah, just low center of gravity, gets her forearms under the ball and just fears nothing. And then look at that great block by Penn State. Boy, they are really in rhythm here in the third.
Faldudo goes out to Merzick on the pin. That middle has been successful, but dug up that time by Tumen. Both teams protecting their middle a little bit better here. Merzick goes off the block again. She's forcing Hasbrook to see her at different angles. That can be really challenging in that left back position.
Yeah, that's really difficult, especially when it's coming with so much heat. The thunderous attack there by Jess Merzick, but I'm impressed by Grimes and just putting up such a sweet ball on that second contact.
That's nice. Ooh, Riley Rader gets called for the lift. Unfortunately, just kind of went down, up, and over on that ball. So set number 3 goes to the Penn State Nittany Lions, 25-16. See if this is potentially slipping away for Ohio State, but set number 4 is coming up next. Penn State with a brilliant response since dropping the first set to Ohio State. More to come from Covelli after this. Emmy Selman, a big standout player on the list for Ohio State. Jess Merzick, a usual suspect. What else jumps out to you on the list?
Yeah, well, I'm loving how Tremel is playing right now. Just an outstanding performance by her. 0 errors. You know, like you said, we expected a big night from Merzick and Laundot, but the X factor for Ohio State, Selman, came to play tonight. Her numbers are so solid.
Taylor Tremel, 10 kills, hitting .667. Yeah, that's consistency and what Penn State was looking for out of their middles. And the middles are the key to the pins, right? If you don't have your middle involvement, you do not have your pins as effectively as you would without them cooking. And that was just deep for Trammell, who to this point didn't make any single errors. 10 kills to no errors, but a sign out and points. A sign of Ohio State.
Yeah, and that was close, and I almost thought there would be a challenge on it, but Schumacher Colley decided not to get the green card out.
Nice pass by Hasbrook. Emmy Selman on the pin. Grimes goes back to Merzick. Oh no, we have hit our line judge officially.
Poor guy.
He got hit down the line from Laundot. Here's another look at it. Poor guy. Look out. Got him in the shoulder. He's good. Yeah. He took it like a champion. Challenge on the touch. Yeah, I think that definitely would be ruled.
The original
that
call
way.
was ball out. Point Ohio State. Penn State is challenging that there was a block touch.
You know, think about this, though. Before we had the challenges, how many points were missed
I know.
in college volleyball? I mean, this is
So
an
true.
obvious touch, and yet the official, the lines person called it out of bounds, and the official did not see it. So, again, just elevating the game and making it, you know, totally fair.
Well, it used to be, too, where, as you mentioned it before, this technology came into play, especially if you were covering your hitter in these situations and you saw the touch, it's like there's nothing worse than when
After review,
it
there was
wasn't
a
visible
touch
to the line
by
judges.
the Ohio State block. Call will be reversed. Point Penn State. They retain the challenge.
You just felt robbed when those didn't go your way.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wonder how many championships I would have won if we would have had. I kept trying to get the call.
Curious minds must want to know. But so far, it seemed to me, theme-wise of the match, Ohio State was right there in set number 2. It felt like to me, if they got that set number 2, that this match was theirs. It feels like the momentum's starting to slip away on the side of Penn State. We'll see. A lot of match left. Londa, especially with the way she's playing.
Yeah, definitely we will see what Ohio State is made of here in the 4th set. You know, there's really no pressure for Ohio State. Nobody really expected them to compete with the number 3 team in the nation. If anything, if they can keep serving tough and passing well, they will be putting pressure on Penn State. So this could really go either way, Michelle.
Amy Selman with a beautiful serve right through the seam, and again the target, Jess Merzick. It's not easy to be the transitioning pin hitter, passing and then jetting out to your approach like you've been saying, jamming, pulling her forward there with the float. That's the trouble of a float serve. Let's see what Emmy Selman does with this one, the young freshman playing the match of her life so far, and she is only getting started. Future is bright. Better pass, still on the 10-foot line though for Izzy Stark. That one's dug up by Tooman, who's playing lights out defense. And a great penetration on the block for Maggie Mendelson.
Yeah, Markley has really been a spark on that right side, and she's just setting up a good block. Look at number 19 right here, lining up perfectly so that her middle can line up hip to hip with her. So she's been a positive person that's been inserted into Penn State's lineup.
Kicked out to the pin, Jess Merzick just sends it wide. And
Merzick was going for that cross-court shot. Lots of open space there, but just couldn't get it in bounds.
Riley Rader now back to serve. Graduate middle blocker for Ohio State. And how about that finishing touch for Ohio State?
Hey, if you're going to beat Penn State, you've got to serve aggressively, and that is exactly what Ohio State has been doing right now. Lots of movement, being super aggressive, and also hitting their targets.
And that is a feathery touch on a jump float serve of Riley Rader for the ace, 2 in a row.
Yeah, and it's the variety of serves too.
Yes.
You're seeing deep floaters, now you're seeing a short one, so it's hard to predict where the ball is going, keeping Penn State completely out of rhythm.
I always hated passing the taller jump float servers too. I felt like the ball dived off a little bit harder than the shorter players. And Riley Rader has that. She has that touch on the ball where it's shifty, and you hit it at a higher contact point, so when she's hitting that from contact, it's dipping over the net. That's a really tough ball to pass. Okay, Ohio State, you must have heard us and said, wait a second, we're still in the match. A 5-point lead now in set number 4 for the Buckeyes. Welcome you back to Columbus, Ohio on the left, and over on the right, a top 11 showdown in Madison, Wisconsin at the moment. Wisconsin up 2-1 against 11th ranked Oregon. A thriller of a matchup, so go ahead, fire up that second screen, will you? Over on Big Ten Plus. Don't miss any of the action, especially with the talent in the Big Ten, and a roof for Ohio State, and a prominent one.
Ohio State really going after Penn State on the serve, and this predictable outside attack allows Ohio State to line up perfectly. Look at Ella Brandowie having a night tonight.
And Emmy Selman emotionally engaging, trying to track it down. That's a great run for Ohio State. How will Penn State respond now? Jess Merzick back to the line.
you know, this game, this set, and the whole match really is going to come down to serve and pass and who can stay in system and knock the opponent out of system. And right now, Ohio State's passing is on.
Yeah, it is. And so is the right arm of Emily London, as it always is. 15 kills for London on the night, hitting .257. And there it is, in system, and that's a freshman. Hitting it up to Mia Tooman. Emmy Selman with the pass. She's been the target for Penn State. She's been handling the pressure pretty nicely throughout the match. Emily London, I mean, you could throw a triple block on her, as Oregon tried, and how well did that work? She still finds a way to get the ball down. As Jess Merzik wisely said, you can't stop her, you just have to manage her. Mendelssohn. Oh.
I almost thought that was a stuff block for
Webker.
Ohio State. Yeah, and it's going to be key for Penn State in that rotation when Mendelssohn is front row that they can pass well enough to run her slide. So that's been the key. They have been able to control that first contact and put Mendelssohn in a good position to score.
How epic would that be? A 5'9" stuff block from Reese Webker on the 6'5" Maggie Mendelssohn, to your point on the height disparity. Webker back with the pass. Tooman's forced to set it in the back row. Out of system for Penn State too. Cameron Hanna hits her way out of trouble. Goes again against the double block. Twice fearless against the brick wall of Ohio State.
I love watching outside hitters like her go up. Cameron Hanna got blocked in the first one. When the ball is in the air, she gets herself in great position to take a big approach. Look at that speed coming out. And then just takes advantage of the block. So you've got to be fearless if you're going to survive as an outside hitter in this conference.
Speaking of surviving, Webker surviving that pass from Quinn Menger's serve. And how about that angle from Cameron Hanna, changing the trajectory of set number 4, pulling her team back within 3.
Yep, 2020 All-American, and she's showing us why, really, in the last few points, putting her team on her shoulder and just swinging to win big points.
That's deep for Menger, the 5'9" senior defensive specialist who serves for Mendelssohn, and in comes Grimes at the libero position. Reese Webker back to serve now for Ohio State, looking to protect and build on a 4-point lead on the third best team in the nation right now. Deep serve lets Penn State off the hook a bit. That's in the budget early on in these sets, but as you start to creep closer to 20, that's where you want to sharpen those things up.
Yeah, you want to play clean volleyball as much as you can. You know, as you said, it's early here where you can go for it a little bit, be a bit more risky on your serve, but a couple errors here. I think 3 back-to-back, right, on serve.
Stark gives one right back. Penn State back on top by 4. Olivia Hasbrook, the freshman libero, back to serve. She signed just 6 days after being allowed to officially talk with the NCAA. Coach Jen had a fun perspective on that. Some kids just are enthusiastic about where they want to go. She was one of them. Another missed serve, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
And just exchanging points there from the service line. So if you're giving as many points as you're getting, I guess it's a wash, but never want to serve zone 7.
You have a funny story about that. Emmy Selman with a big rip right through the seam of the block.
Yeah, that's a big time swing from 14. She's been a star all night. Take a look at this big approach and how she just sees that hole in the block and finds it and scores. I love the rip.
Very good read for the Bright Star freshman. 18 kills for her on the night. And Riley Rader, she is a gamer and gets the step block in the middle.
What I like about what she did there, Riley Rader goes up, take a look, and she is following the middle, and then she just goes ahead and reaches up and over, and in dominant fashion, stuff blocks that ball.
The best feeling as a middle blocker. Whoa, off the shoulder of Webker. She'll take the dig. That is legal. Grimes with a perfect pass. Penn State run in the middle. Out of system for Ohio State. Just keeping it in play is Merzick. Tumin runs the middle attack fast. Stark gets the dig. It's an overpass though. Tumin with another scrappy play. Here's Selman. Jeez, that's a big arm. Merzick looks to bail her team out, and another scrappy play from Mia Tumin. A defensive scramble both sides. Merzick tries to swing out of trouble. Demands that there was a touch. And Ohio State survives. What a defensive battle.
I think there's a touch here. Like, let's just appreciate all the defensive gets here and just the gutsiness here. Look at Stark just laying out, keeping the ball alive.
Grimes just handles the heat like it's nothing. And Tumin again.
Yeah.
You love to see that kind of scrappy defense. That's what we live for in Big Ten volleyball. Merzick says thank you very much. They did call a touch on that. Now Penn State right back in it. Trailing by 3, but they haven't been able to generate any momentum to catch Ohio State. Ohio State's been holding their own. Grimes back to serve. We'll see where she targets. She goes line. Hasbrook, maybe not the best choice. Selman goes to the middle, and nobody was letting that ball drop. Oh no, traffic jam. Oh no, tough one to give up for Ohio State. Traffic jam proved to be fruitful for Penn State.
Yeah, that was a wild play, and sometimes you just have to learn how to play ugly, but look at this.
Oops.
Bang, and somehow Grimes just sticking with it and just keeping the ball alive, and there's reason to celebrate. Sometimes you just have to, have that stick-to-itiveness and never give up on the ball.
Well, kept secret for so long. Just what was Russ Rose's secret to success? And you just get a glimpse into it. And some of the legends, you'll see Olympians in the mix. Micah Hancock talking about her experience. It's magical. You have to relive it with us. It's so fun. Back to the action here in Columbus. And a big swing from Merzick. Tide starting to turn in favor of Penn State. A chance to tie it now on the serve of Jillian Grimes.
Yeah, and that was a really odd defensive play by Ohio State. It was like the backcourt was kind of at a sink. You're going to see a substitution here for Ohio State, number 15, entering the game for the Buckeyes.
Whip of a serve from Grimes. Londot active on the pin. Where does it go now? Londot trying to get in the mix. Hasbrook instead stays on the ground to send that ball over. Just a bit of a scramble for Ohio State. We are all tied up at 13.
Yeah, and Ohio State just giving easy points to Penn State. So as you said, tied up here. But we did mention a substitution. Hoffman is in for the Buckeyes, number 15 on serve receive.
It's a big swing from Londot. Stark out to the pin. Merzick keeps it in play. Tumin, full scramble, high ball to the pin. Very readable, but Penn State struggling with it anyways. Londot on the ground and still almost getting kills. Ohio State back out to Londot. Great dig from Merzick. It's still alive. It's still alive. And that ball is in. Hasbrook handles it. Perfect pass. Middle gets denied. What a play by Rader. It's a heads-up coverage of her own attack. Grimes back to Merzick. Merzick wide. Ohio State back on top by 1.
Yeah, we have to note that in that particular rally, Selman was right side, Londot was left side, and it proved to work for the Buckeyes. Great rally, just amazing play here in the Covelli. Ohio State just hanging on here with a 1-point lead.
Emmy Selman, the freshman star, back to serve. 18 kills on the night. Denied by Riley Rader in the middle again. She's playing with so much fight and enthusiasm.
So she's so well balanced. She is not going either way, not leaning at all, and she knows that the tendency on a good pass, a good dig, is to set middle. She is a veteran player, and she reads the play very well.
Here's what's at stake. Ohio State seeking their first home win against a top 3 ranked opponent since 2006. And for Penn State, looking to extend their 12-match Big Ten regular season win streak that dates back to last season. Topic of streaks, It's not 109 matches, but 12 will do. And how about that pursuit from the block of Ohio State? Riley Rader in the mix every single time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a treat to watch this battle. Jess Merzick, Londot, Riley Rader. I mean, it's one of those things where you're not going to win every battle. Who's going to win the war? And you just have to forget about the last play and carry on business as usual.
Riley Rader back to serve now. Penn State has struggled with her serve. Riley Rader also 8th in the program history in blocks, with well over 401 now. 6th in block assists. Just an incredible athlete with a wicked serve too. Penn State survives it. Now Jess Merzick with a chance to tie it at the service line. No stranger to high-pressured situations. The heartbeat of this Penn State team. And that ball goes down. 2 defensive players in the seam. Ohio State protects the 2-point lead.
You know, Eloise Brandewie, really respect her as a player, that she goes up. She doesn't get a ton of sets, but there she goes, running the route that she needs to run, just in case Tuman wants to dish her the ball, and she scores. Well executed there by Brandewie.
5 kills for Brandewie on the night. Cameron Hanna slows down her arm swing, and Webker in a scramble. Londot back to attack. It is deep, no touch that we could see on the block. Back in for Penn State.
A smart play there by Penn State to force Webker to play the ball, and as a result, Tuman only has one option because she's pulled way off the net. Middle wasn't an option. It goes to Londot, which is a predictable play to make.
That's deep from Maggie Mendelson, and 2-point lead right back on the side of Ohio State. Penn State can't seem to get a grip on the momentum. It's like they finally get close, and then an unforced error happens.
Yeah, they're definitely not playing their A game, but you know, you have to be able, even if you're not playing your very best, you've got to stay in the fight, keep it close, and that's exactly what they're doing here in the 4th set. They're only a couple points behind, and then you dish the ball to that young lady, Trammell, with a big kill in the middle. 11
kills, just 2 errors for Trammell on the night on 20 attempts. She's been very effective. That's a fast arm. That ball's going down every time. Trammell, the transfer out of Purdue. Out to Emmy Selman, who swings out of trouble. Grimes gets it up, and that's a tough ball for Izzy Stark to set. She does it. Tuman gets activated offensively. Out to the pin. Penn State's denied. Trammell tries to take matters in her own hands, and Ohio State is very sure that this ball landed wide. Penn State, meanwhile, celebrating that it was an in-call. We'll see what gives. It is a challenge for sure. We'll let our referee crew weigh in.
Ooh. And that was out.
Original call was ball in, point Penn State. Ohio State is challenging that the ball was out.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any question here. Probably will be a very quick evaluation. I don't think there's any argument that that ball was close to being in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ball's out.
Good thing for the replay system. And over on the bench of Ohio State, they're doing the dance with the crowd. Cha-cha slide.
After review, the ball landed out. Ohio State will lose the challenge. Point Penn State.
Wait a minute. The ball was out. Point goes to Ohio State. I think she misspoke here. No. Did I misunderstand? I thought she said the ball was out. Point to Penn State. So
I think she just misspoke. Point. Wait. Oh my. Oh. Wow. I'm shocked. Nice get. Stark just keeps it alive. Grimes sends a free ball over. Ohio State with their chance to load up. Emmy Selman tries to put it away. Izzy Stark to the back row now. Merzick denied, and Grimes steps in with stability for the set. Aaron Hanna smacks it. Londoc, back row attack, and dug up by Izzy Stark. Sensational dig for the young freshman center. Tooman goes over with it. Well dug up by Stark again, who was all over the read. Hanna loading up. Hasbrook with a nice scramble dig. Selman gets the finishing touch. 19-18, Ohio State. My brain was still in the scramble about the line call we just saw. I'm not sure how they could have continued that out. But
yeah, and what a great rally. Again, Big Ten volleyball at its finest. And Selman here, she will get the recognition she deserves after this match. She has had an outstanding game so far. So impressed with that young lady.
no argument there. That ball is wide. Let's go back to the puzzling play a moment ago, Audrey. So Taylor Trammell loads up. She hits this ball. It was called in by the line judge, okay? So that ball's called in. Challenge happens by Ohio State. Says, no, that ball is out, which you and I see that ball out.
Yeah.
So referee goes back to review it. Says the ball was out, but point Penn State.
Yeah.
So I think everybody just rolled with it.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, you're exactly right. So I'd love to hear this, you know, this replayed and hear exactly what she said. Yeah.
I think they're discussing that at this timeout here, which was called by Penn State.
Yeah, one of the workers on the table there, you know, called her over and I think explained how she misspoke and rewarded Penn State.
But
with
why didn't one of the coaches step in and say, wait, hang on, that doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
But I guess they're probably distracted and working with their own teams at that point. So I don't know this is kind of an unprecedented situation, right?
I have never seen this happen before, so I'm super interested to see how this goes. But I'd love to hear again what her call was. I believe I heard her say,
you were correct,
ball out, point Penn State.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did say that. You're absolutely right.
Right. So the point and the serve should have gone to Penn State. So, or I'm sorry, now I'm confused. It should have gone to Ohio State. Yes.
Which at this point in the match has massive implications potentially
Absolutely.
for Ohio State. I think you just have to play with it at this point.
I don't know. Can you go back and change the score at this point?
I don't think so, but
No.
We'll all learn together on this one in uncharted territory. We still obviously are not starting back the action here in set number 4.
I will tell you, if this gets reversed and Ohio State goes to 21 and Penn State goes to 17, you're going to see Penn State's bench absolutely lose their mind. So I can't wait to see how this all pans out.
The plot thickens. Drama just beginning here in Columbus. We'll see how this one gets resolved. I think coaching staff's wondering what the delay is for. Let's go back and listen to the announcement of the call originally.
After review, the ball landed out. Ohio State will lose the challenge. Point Penn State.
Yeah, she just misspoke. She's human. She made a mistake. And so she is calling the coaches over on the sideline. I have never seen this happen before. She is going to explain how she made an error in calling that ball and rewarding Penn State with the point.
Give our referee crew a lot of credit too for taking accountability for that. As
Absolutely.
You pointed out, we're all human, right? And so obviously this is not going to favor Katie Schumacher-Cauley in any way. So
Jen Flynn Oldenburg is like, all right, I'll take it. Yeah, so the score should actually be 21-17.
Yeah. I mean, it was, we were both confused up here, like, wait a second. But one thing didn't add up with the other.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I mean, she's human. She misspoke, and so, you know, that happens. I think.
And per that reaction, I would say that Ohio State is pretty happy with the results. And Katie Schumacher-Cauley explaining to her starters the situation at hand. And you had no other choice but to just regroup and go at it, because they did earn that point. Yeah. Ohio State won the point. There's no argument there. The problem is that Penn State feels like they were running with it.
Yeah. And in typical Jen Flynn Oldenburg fashion, take a look at this. Double fist pump. Yes.
You'll love to see it.
Absolutely love the fire.
The fans love it too. Yeah. With their glow sticks in hand.
Yeah. So there you have it, 21-17.
And by the way, I misspoke. It was the Cupid Shuffle, not the Cha-Cha Slide, that the Ohio State bench was dancing with fans in the backcourt, having a whole lot of fun.
You know, this old lady wasn't going to argue with you, but I just thought, it doesn't sound right to me.
Okay, Ohio State serving at 21-17. We'll see how Penn State battles with the news of losing a point and potentially some momentum. And not a great pass from Merzick. That's a tight set too. Great coverage from Grimes. Merzick out of the back row. It's wide. Ohio State now feels like they have a chance in this match.
Yeah, Penn State did a really good job of recycling the point on a tight set, and then Merzick with an error from her back row attack. Easy point there for the Buckeyes.
Hasbrook back to serve now. The freshman libero for Ohio State looking to close out set 4 and force a 5th. Good coverage by Grimes. It's Tuman to set to 9. Tuman again to the pin. Out it goes off the block of Penn State, and Ohio State 2 points away from taking the 4th.
I'll take a look at how the outside hitter, Selman for Ohio State, just goes hard into the block. Fearless, using it, smacking that ball off hands and out of bounds.
A lot to take in. We'll give you a breather here at the break. Ohio State rallying behind this great crowd here at Covelli Center alongside Hall of Famer Audrey Flaw. I'm Michelle McMahon, and Penn State has been stuck on 17 since getting that point taken back at the miscommunication with the challenge just a couple of points ago. You can see the disappointment settling in on the side of Katie Schumacher-Cauley, head coach for the Nittany Lions. Ohio State playing with a chip on their shoulder all night long with a whole lot of fight. Olivia Hasbrook wants to close out set number 4 on her terms. Time running out for Penn State. Catches the seam and serve receive. A great ball from Hasbrook. That's cheap. Set point for Ohio State.
The service pressure from Ohio State has been exceptional tonight. And in that last play, pulling Stark off the net. It's a big time performance here in the 4th set by the Buckeyes.
Hasbrook picking apart the seam of Grimes and Merzick. We'll see if she goes there again. She goes for Merzick as the target. Ohio State, and that ball is illegal from Ohio State because it went over. It is called a double contact.
Yep, can't do that this year, and you know what? That was a missed opportunity to close this one out, but Ohio State still with a nice cushion.
Yeah, they'll take that. Cameron Hanna with all the pressure now back to serve for Penn State. Wow, that's a bomb of a serve. Picks apart the passing of Ohio State. Emmy Selman with a gutsy play, 25-18. The Buckeyes force this to a 5th. This is anyone's match now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about number 14 for the Buckeyes. She is having quite the night.
The Ohio State Buckeyes looking to knock off a top 3 ranked opponent on home turf. They push this to a 5th set, and Emmy Selman has been sensational. Here's what's at stake for Penn State. Their 12-match Big Ten regular season win streak on the line. Ohio State seeking their first home win against a top 3 opponent since 2006. And that young lady right there has played out of her mind, to say the least. 21 kills, hitting .292. She's a 3 kills behind Jess Merzick, the legend on Penn State side.
Yeah, she is having herself quite the night and putting on a show for the home crowd here, and they are going wild. They are loving her competitive nature and her ability to swing for big-time points at huge moments. She is fearless and having just a spectacular evening. Number 14, Emmy Selman. Wow.
Nearly doubling her career high from just a couple of matches ago. Big serve from Grimes. Big dig from Grimes. Merzick high off the hands. Wise place to start. Penn State needed something to cling on to. Ohio State seems like the hungrier team right now. Here's the records in 5 setters so far in the season. Penn State perfect 1-0. Ohio State 1 win, 2 losses. A little bit more battle tested though in 5th sets. Tooman feeds the middle. Great dig from Grimes. And back to Markley. Tooman out to Selman. Great dig from Angelina Stark. Merzick has only 1 angle to go. Emmy Selman read it all the way through. Londot with the tip. Grimes read it. Start to the middle. Great coverage, just a bit out of hands and out of reach for Penn State, out of system. Ohio State feeding Selman because she cannot be denied.
Oh, Londot, spectacular dig, keeping the ball alive. That is a 6'3" powerhouse of a swing, and Londot that's showing great defensive gets, and then again, Selman just showing so much courage
and swag too.
Yeah, I know, just coming down, wagging her finger a little bit. Love it.
Jordan, shoulder shrug there. Mistake from Londot, out of position though. Selman just sends over a bomb. 23 kills.
Well, you kind of feel like Selman is on a mission here tonight. She has just been spectacular. The go-to and really the unsung hero right now, just doing it all. Who would have expected this?
A coming out party for the youngster. Yeah. She won't be under the radar for long in the Big Ten. That's wide for Tooman. You hate to have that momentum and gift it away with a missed serve, but you feel for Tooman they have to be aggressive with serving. That's what's brought them to this 5th set. Do you agree?
Absolutely, and they're going after Merzick, and that ball was just wide. So you know that that's their target. That's been their game plan. They have executed it quite well up until this point. So we'll see how the 5th set rolls out for the Buckeyes.
Faldudo back to serve, a perfect pass from Hasbrook. Great coverage from the Buckeyes. Londot, look out. That's wide, and Penn State takes back control early of the 5th set. 1-point lead on their side. Ava Faldudo back to serve again. Look out for the jump float. Look out for the seams. Last time she went for Hasbrook, the libero, perhaps trying to create some confusion for Tooman coming from that side of the court. And then Tooman has to chase it across the court from a different angle. Izzy Stark goes down with it. Smart time to do it. She's been quiet offensively, and that's a great involvement for the setter, and a young setter too.
Yeah, and this is how the serve sets up the point. So real difficult pass, ends up being somewhat of a down ball for Ohio State. Perfect dig, and then you see the start kill. So all starts off from a really good serve.
Yeah, well, you can see the discomfort from Tooman. Again, seeing that pass angle from that cross-court area. Selman again gets it. This kid is unbelievable. Emmy Selman having a coming out party in the Big Ten. 23 kills and counting.
Right, and I think you can be a really good hitter when you're in system and the ball is coming fast,
yes.
But these ones that are coming from the back court where you have to adjust and you have to have the courage to swing even though the block is in front of you, that's what's been so impressive with her game tonight.
Mendelsohn hits the slide attack heavy off high hands. Got past 2 defenders with it too. I cut Emmy Selman short 1 kill. She has 24 on the night. Just 1 behind Jess Merzick, who's been around this game now for 5 years. Back to serve now is Jess Merzick. What a play from the pin of Ohio State. Great dig from Hasbrook. Back to Londa, down the line, makes Grimes eat it. Wow.
Yeah, the defensive get by Hasbrook on that play really set up Londot so well. Take a look at how she extends her platform out. Digs outside of your body are so difficult, but she stays on her feet and just goes hard after that ball. And then Londot with that finishing kill.
Great pass out of position for Faldudo. Full scramble now for Ohio State. 2 men well beyond the 10-foot line. Oh, just long for Londot. There was a touch called off the Penn State block. And that's where Londot to me is so good. She can just nick the ball off the fingers ever so slightly. Has such a heavy arm. She can hit the ball wherever she wants, whether it's 5-foot line, angle, 10-foot line, high hands. She's got it all. Hard to read too. Back to Merzick, who also packs a powerful punch.
Yeah, 2 heavy hitters. Actually, I should say 3 heavy hitters. You got to add Selman in that package there. And, you know, this is what Jess Merzick does. She's just patient. She loads up, and then she's one-on-one. Lots of area along that net to swing into, and she delivers a huge kill for her team.
Merzick played her first 3 years at Michigan. Mia Tumen back to Londot, again loads up. Londot just blowing people up. A slide attack. Oh, it's good. She got the touch. Oh, you've got to play that sequence back. Every single approach.
Yeah, first, there's one.
Overpass,
there's 2.
And a slide approach. Right off Cameron Hanna.
Oh. Yeah, that's on the All-American highlight reel right there.
Oh my.
Original call was net fault, Penn State. Penn State is challenging, no net fault.
Okay, so there was a net fault called on Penn State. So Katie is challenging that for Penn State side.
Yeah, I think it was Cameron Hanna for Penn State. Well, we'll have to see if this...
This is the win. This is the one.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
No argument there.
Okay, let's make sure she awards the correct side. We're all going to listen very intently here.
I mean, that was such a turning point, too. You can't discredit our referees by any means, but for on Penn State side, not their fault either.
No,
that they're just going to take the point and run with it. But that was a much different looking scoreline, and Ohio State just ran away with it there in the 4th. And here we are locked up at 6 in the 5th.
And you can't blame Cameron
After review,
Hanna
call is
to aggressively
confirmed,
go
net fault,
after it.
Penn State.
Okay, confirms. We could see that as well. And I think any coach would tell you, no matter how this match ends, of course you prefer it in a win, but now you feel battle-tested as a team as you look ahead to the postseason. These are the kind of wins that test you and what your team is made of, and you reflect back to these moments come NCAA tournament time and say, okay, remember that one time when we were in, we feel like we got gypped midway through, and we fought through it. So these are learning milestones. And for Ohio State to make it to the tournament, this would be a massive win. Nicole Fawcett, the assistant coach for Ohio State. On the side with Emily Londot there. Just missed it into the net. We will change ends at 8. Mackenzie Stark back to serve, looking to hit the 8-point mark first for her side. It's a deep float serve and a nice one to Hasbrook. Webker tries to swing her way out of it. Tuman goes back to Webker, the undersized outside attacker. It's in.
Yeah, again, just high-level volleyball right now from 17. Webker pulling the point. A tight set came her way. Tips it into the block. Coverage is there. The set goes back to her, and then she goes right in the back inch of the corner of the court. That's a big-time play.
For a freshman, too. Stark with a gutsy set. Ohio Penn State in a bit of some trouble. Back to the pin for Markley. Swings big into the block. Cameron Hanna keeps it alive for Penn State. Merzick with the tip. Wise play. Full scramble. Hasbrook so quick on her feet. What a dig from Grimes. Markley goes deep to the line. It's good. That's a clutch play for Alexa Markley, number 19, the junior outside attacker.
Markley fired up. Such a great tip right in the corner.
Markley got the nod late in this match. Penn State takes a 1-point lead at the end change. More from set number 5 on the other side of this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Just ahead of that commercial break, Ohio State was challenging a net fault on Penn State on the previous play. I don't think I saw one live, but we'll take a closer look at it.
This match has just been filled with drama.
Wild.
Yes, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's been unreal.
One of the best Big Ten matches we've seen so far this year. Here's the best look we have of said net violation in question. I think that's the ball hitting the net. I don't see any arms of Penn State hitting the net. Great blocking technique, by the way, for Penn State.
Phenomenal.
Full pike, press across the net. Look at that.
Look at the height above the net. Yeah,
I don't want to be hitting into that block.
Yeah, no.
And to consider that's what Emmy Selman has been hitting into all night, 24 kills, the lead. That's the ball. So
after
nothing to see
review,
here, I don't believe.
there was no net fault. Ohio State loses a challenge. Call is confirmed.
Okay, there you have it. This is probably the first time in a long time Emily Londot is not the lead kill producer for Ohio State. It's Emmy Selman.
Yeah.
That's something. The future is bright in Columbus, regardless of how this match turns out. What a dig from Grimes. I mean, underrated at the libero position. Doesn't get a ton of credit. Isn't super flashy on social media. Her coaches acknowledge, but they just so appreciate her presence in the back row.
Yeah, for sure.
Cameron Hanna back to serve with a 1-point lead for Penn State. That's a BB of a serve and a great pass for Ohio State, but the big block of Penn State takes over.
Well, that's a key block at a key moment. That was a huge point for Markley. And again, she has done a really good job of setting up a block and just being disciplined, being high and over, actually, not low and over. And she won that battle there.
Another serve over to Caitlin Hoffman for Ohio State. That's wide. Emmy Selman was looking for high hands. Penn State takes over 10-7. Timeout called on the court for Ohio State, feeling like this fifth set is slipping away, but we thought the same thing in set number 4, and then Ohio State came out to prove us wrong. So don't count this Buckeye team out yet. They've got a whole lot of fight in them, led by former player for Ohio State, Jen Flynn Oldenburg. It's quite the legacy here. Michelle Barsh, great player for Illinois. She was playing during the same era in the streak, which when I was just about to mention during that 2007, 2008, 2009 era for Penn State. And let's take a look now at the preview of the streak, which is coming up next after this thriller of a match we've witnessed here in Columbus, featuring also Megan Hodge. Enjoy.
Take a look at the eyes of Megan Hodge here on Halloween Eve.
I was unaware that we were going to be tying that win streak. We were more focused on the fact that Megan was wearing those contact lenses.
Okay, I remember playing Penn State, and Megan Hodge kept that trend going with the eyes beyond Halloween. We were freaked out.
Oh, absolutely.
At Michigan.
How would you like to have that look staring you down across the net? It would be absolutely terrifying.
Especially with the way she played.
Yes.
One of the best college volleyball players to ever play the game. Russ Rose acknowledges it also in the documentary, how intelligent Megan Hodge Easy was, how smart on the court. She read things at another level than other athletes. Big point here, both sides. Cameron Hanna with the run at the moment. Selman bails out the team again. Just when you're ready to count out Ohio State, it's the freshman young gun.
I want to point something out. We had number 15, Hoffman, on serve receive. And take a look at how she bails out of the serve receive pattern, and 22, Emily Londot, steps in for her. That was key because the play prior, Hoffman really struggled on serve receive. So what a heads-up play by the staff to call that out of the timeout.
And to still let her play in the back row defensively, too. Penn State in a scramble. Jess Merzick goes over with it. Mia Tuman to the pin. That's a heavy hand of Emmy Selman, that time read by Grimes. Merzick trying to throw anything creatively on the other side. Grimes is being tested on the outer edge of the block. Full scramble set for Stark. She has to get up and play defense now. It's Londot down the line. Grimes cannot do anything to dig up the back row attack of Emily Londot, who has saved this match not once but twice now.
And kudos to Hoffman. Again, the DS that was struggling a bit on serve receive, but makes a key play in middle back for the Buckeyes to keep this one so tight.
Ohio State was 10-7 down. They have rattled off 2 unanswered points. They now have a chance to tie it for their biggest win in quite some time at home.
And the oldest trick in the book, let me tie my shoelace. And let's make the server think about this one.
Hasbrook is a freshman, but she's got the mind of a champion. Merzick goes deep with it. Hoffman digs it up. Selman, what does she do? She goes into the block, gets the tool. We are tied up at 10.
Yeah, don't underestimate the value of a tough serve. That ball was served really hard to Grimes, and Penn State out of system, and as a result, Ohio State transitions, and a big attack again by their go-to tonight, number 14. Take a look at this again. It was trouble from the get-go, and then an easier swing comes across the net, easily handled by the Buckeyes, and then a big-time swing again. Emmy Selman, my goodness, young lady, what a night you are having.
26 kills for Emmy Selman. You and I have only had a 2-week sample size of Emmy Selman now in the Big Ten, and this is a drastically different player than we saw 2 weeks ago against Oregon.
Right, and Jen Flynn Oldenburg told us that she is super aggressive, has a high ceiling, and we really didn't see it. We were waiting for it to come alive against Oregon. My goodness, apparently Jen Flynn Oldenburg knows what she's talking about, and she is part of the reason that this Ohio State team had the number 2 recruiting class, this freshman group again. We've got the libero in Hasbrook, who's just a freshman. You've got Selman, you've got Webker. Man, this is an outstanding group for the Buckeyes. So here we are, 10-10. You know, you train for this moment, and it'll be the team that can stay in system, really do a good job of serving aggressively and passing on target, staying calm but aggressive in the heat of the battle. This one is a fun one.
How about this? Selman and Londot combining for 45 kills. The rest of the team, you ask? 18. They don't recommend running your offense this way, one-dimensional, but when you have 2 big guns like that can put the ball away the way that they are, you roll with what's working, Audrey. You know that better than anybody. And how about that overpass? It's still up. It's still up. No, it's deep. Ohio State taking over. Now 4 unanswered points during this run. The student section has been craving a big win for their team. Hasbrook with a big serve to Grimes. Ohio State gets another 5 straight point. Big would this win be, you ask? Here it is. It would be their first home win against a top 3 opponent since 2006, before the legendary streak of Penn State that we've been plugging all night long. Wow, Jess Merzick still alive. It's a 1-point game, but it feels like this one is fully in slant of Ohio State.
It's a money shot right there from Merzick, trying to keep her team in this one, and what an aggressive swing. The heart of a champ right there. She's in for a battle. She wants to win this one.
Penn State Stark goes out to Merzick, their key hitter. Big dig from Hoffman. Selman off the block again for Penn State. They need 2 points, and this match is theirs.
And Mia Tumen running that ball down in a perfect bump set out to the left pin. And the place is going absolutely wild.
Take it all in from Covelli. These fans have been loyal. They have been hopeful. And Ohio State was looking for that marquee win to get their season going in the Big Ten. And this would be a tremendous start. Take another look at the last point, Audrey. Big serve from Grimes, handled perfectly by Hasbrook. Selman has been lighting it up again. On the pin, Merzick defended. There's Hoffman again. What about that set from Tumen? Emmy Selman didn't have much to work with.
No, yeah, Tumen really chasing that ball down, and you know, you just keep the ball alive, and that's what Hoffman did in that play. So kudos to her. She's playing a heck of a middle back right now for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
She is, and Mia Tumen has had an incredible match too. Her mom Molly played at Kentucky, as well as on the U.S. national team. Brother Canyon plays at Penn State. Her sister McKenna plays rugby at West Point. Her father, where did he play? College football. Michigan, of all places.
Yeah. You know, I love this front lineup, though, for Penn State. They are, you know, equipped to get a good side out with Merzick on that left pin if they can control the pass. And we'll just see how aggressive this serve is and what the pass result is like for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Mia Tumen with a high-pressure serve at stake. See how Penn State handles it. 10-foot line pass, but the choice is Merzick. It usually is in crunch time moments. Penn State back within 1.
Yeah, Angelina Stark, really good platform on that serve receive. Just stays calm in that really tough moment and delivers a super pass to her sister Izzy.
Chance to tie it here for Penn State. Monstrous serve for Ava Felduto. Wow, Penn State ties it at 13 in an unexpected way. Ava Felduto back to serve again. Timeout called by Ohio State. Last timeout called of the night. What conversation would you be having with your team at this point?
Well, just stay calm and enjoy the competition at this point. You've worked so hard, both sides of the net. And, you know, it's just interesting how the game always comes down to serve, receive. We talk about it a lot. So at this point, you know, you can't serve a lollipop over to Ohio State because, you know, they will control it, and they've proven they've got some really good weapons to go to. And if you're Ohio State, you gotta want the ball on serve receive. You gotta want it to come to you and have that confidence. You want to be the man right now, and you know, I loved these moments. So this is where I like to see how players respond and see who's going to be the game winner for either side of the net.
Here's what Penn State's playing for. They have a 12-match win streak right now in Big Ten regular season matches. This dates back to November 5th of last year. It's almost been a year since Penn State has dropped their last Big Ten match against Purdue. And so it's anyone's match still at this point. What needs to happen on both sides other than obviously the serve and pass battle slanting in your favor?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the front row for Ohio State. You've got Londot, and she's available there on the left side. You also have Selman. So they're stacked on the left side. They need a good pass. They've got some big swings in the front row to go to.
Valdudo with a chance to get one of their first leads of set number 5. It's deep. Consider the server ice. Great timeout called. Hurts for Penn State. Match point for Ohio State.
Yeah, and I think you go right back to her, right? You serve her the ball. You challenge the kid that just missed the serve. So we'll see where it goes with this one.
Coach Katie went right up to Ava to encourage her to get right back at it. That's a lot of control from Emmy Selman and a beauty of a serve. Merzick, no stranger to pressure. Ohio State could close it out here. It's Londot. Dug up for now. Penn State alive, but a free ball given to Ohio State. Who else does it go to than Emily Londot? This ball dug up by Grimes. Back to the pin, it's Merzick. She finds the middle in less than seconds.
Wow, and great defensive moves by
Lynn Oldenburg, staying calm, staying calm, staying calm.
But again, great defensive moves by Penn State's backcourt. I mean, to keep that ball alive, and then just Merzick just finding the right spot at the right
like
time.
that, and doesn't carry a lot of pride with her. Doesn't have to hit the highlight reel at the end of a match. That's a great serve from Merzick. Again, the anchor of this team. That one's dished back from Penn State. 2 men back to Londot. A good block touch. Penn State still in it. Cameron Hanna has to speed up her approach, and a great adjustment off the set from Jillian Grimes.
Wow, Hannah coming through for the Nittany Lions. My goodness, what a swing.
Match point number 1 for Penn State side now. Jess Merzick, their best player, back to serve with 29 kills on the match so far. Emmy Selman has 27 on Ohio State side. Ohio State, Mia Tooman back to Londot, who is roofed. Penn State defends the streak. 13 straight Big Ten regular season wins, and what a way to do it. 16-14, the final in set number 5.
Wow, a tremendous effort on both sides of the net. Penn State showing, hey, when you don't play your A game, you just have to stay in the battle.